Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sim's YouTube channel, and welcome back to Old Guy Farm's Single Player Challenge. And I just wanted to point something out to you. Look at this little statistic right here on time played. So this is basically the beginning of episode number 20, or the second game day of winter, and we have put almost 24 hours of gameplay on this map. So quite interesting and quite interesting indeed. We'll get rid of Java because we don't want to mess with that right now. So let's go ahead and get right into the action, and thank you all for coming back out tonight and joining me either in the live stream, and or thank you to those who catch the archive streams at your own leisure time. I appreciate you doing that. It means a lot to me that you guys are following my progress and sort of cheering me on, either live or cheering me on sort of behind the scenes. So we're going to more or less start this episode much like we start all the other episodes. We're going to gather some eggs, and we do need to tend to our animals pretty much first thing this morning. And of course, we can't really see the eggs that are underneath the snow. And actually, the snow depth layer looks a little bit deeper than it did last night when we ended the stream just a bit early. So let me just go ahead and tab into these trains. I think what I might have misunderstood some of these guys doing with the trains is I thought they had to basically tab into the trains to essentially manually slow them down, but I think it's just the nature of tabbing into the train itself will slow it down from 50 miles an hour or so down to a more manageable 20-something miles an hour, I believe. So we're certainly going to enable some four-wheel drive on our little telehandler here and try to help. Hopefully that will help us get through the snow and everything. So not real sure how cleaning up after the animals is going to be. Obviously they need some food, but I want to basically do the cleanup first. Hopefully this will essentially work and allow us to get this area here cleaned up. It's sort of sight unseen, I suppose, in a way, because we can't really see the spilt grass or the spilt hay or whatever that is, but we'll put that small amount, and snow is not accepted there. So that's going to be interesting to see how we go about cleaning that out. I've got 89 liters of snow, and I guess we'll just have to maybe what we'll do is we'll shovel some of this snow up. That'll give us something a little bit different to do besides cutting so much timber. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, we will be cutting some timber very, very shortly, because that's kind of what we do this time of year, is cut timber. We got to make some money, make money any way that we possibly can. Now, I don't think if you were watching last night's episode, then you possibly know that we were slipping and sliding and all over the place. I don't think I'm going to take time necessarily to do a whole lot of snow cleanup unless we just absolutely have to. And I do know one thing about snow is if we are not careful and if we pile it up kind of all in one place, it will still be there come springtime and into springtime. We saw that on Law Folds when I was kind of playing around with the snow a little bit. Not really doing a whole lot with winter on Law Folds. I sort of regret not actually paying a little bit more attention and maybe doing more things with winter on Law Folds, because it would have certainly helped me here with this map sort of better understand what we were kind of up against as far as winter weather was concerned. But we didn't do it because I really didn't, there wasn't anything to necessarily do in the winter time there on Law Folds for us, because we weren't really playing it like we were really playing this map as far as money and the challenge and all that kind of stuff. But definitely cool stuff. So let's go ahead and go and grab another bale of hay for the little sheep, because we need to get their productivity and everything up. We've done the cleanup. We've given them a little bit of food to tie them over. Hello, Chris Webb. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping in tonight, sir. I do appreciate it. I had a wonderful day. I hope you did as well. And our friend DC is also in the house, and I hope you've had a great day as well, DC. What have you guys done today? So I did regrettably, I guess we should have probably tended to our animals yesterday. We ran just a little bit long in the episode and really, hang on, come on. There we go. We ran a little bit long, and I didn't want to pull an all-nighter, and we're not going to pull an all-nighter tonight either. But by the time that I got back around here, because of it just basically the snow slowed us down. The snow seriously slows down our logging operations, big time. It does, and so we just weren't really able to drive as fast as we normally do. And I don't know so much if the actual cutting of the trees was much slower. I think it was, but maybe not that big of a deal. But definitely driving the log truck from the pile site, wherever we're piling the logs and everything, staging the logs and stuff, to the timber mill definitely was seriously slowed down. So let's see. We will pull this over here, and I think we'll go ahead and get some water going for our sheep, and then we will possibly check on the greenhouses. And so, anywho, we will just, hopefully our water is not frozen. It is a brisk 27 degrees at the current time. And of course, our soil temperature is at 32 degrees, so not a big deal there, because we're not planting anything, and as long as our sheep doesn't freeze, and as long as our water doesn't freeze and stuff like that, I think we're pretty good there. So we'll go ahead and back up there and give the sheep some water. And this should basically get our sheep up. So I did want to look and see. So we actually ended up breaching 100,000 on sold wood yesterday, but a portion of that, if you might remember, was from the overnight hours, because we did the day before. I guess that would have been episode number 18. We did basically pull an all-nighter on that episode, and we were selling wood through basically through the next game day. So our turning radius with the snow is just about has the turning radius of the Titanic. I think it is just really pretty wide. So we'll go ahead and top up our water tanker again. Hopefully the pond's not frozen, and then we will go. Jeez, did you see that rock jump out and hit me? So we will go and fill up our greenhouses with water. We'll do that, and hopefully that will work out just fine for us. Let me get square with the world here, and then we'll ease into the pond here and fill this guy up here. I'm going to come a little bit further. There we go. Don't want to get too deep in there, because I don't know how the snow is going to affect our traction. Obviously it affects our steering and our traction as we're driving around and stuff. And of course that's playing right into Farmer Klein's plans, I think, and of course, just joking, of course. But I think he's pleased to see that we are having to take things a little bit slower here with the snow, because we were at a pretty good pace, I think, almost averaging, when we really spent a good hard evening or a good hard game day at forestry. I think we were basically nearing anywhere from $90,000 to $100,000 in money that we were making. So let's see, as we run into that other water fill level 19. So yeah, we do need to go ahead and tend to this. So we will refill our water and then also refill our manure. Country Girl 45, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you have had a wonderful day. I still need to catch one of your streams. It is my desire to catch you live streaming if at all possible. I see the notices, but either if you're streaming during the daytime, during my daytime anyways, I either see the notices when I'm in a meeting or about to go into a meeting, or I see them sort of after the fact. But I will try to catch a stream of yours. I do understand that you are speaking now, so that's cool. I think if I remember back to, well, I was even a little bit nervous just making my first farm sim video, and I had been live streaming some of my flight sim stuff on Twitch for several years. Probably I've been live streaming on Twitch on a different ID for probably 3 or 4 years with flight sim, but I can remember my first live stream and being nervous when I spoke. I think mainly I was kind of nervous about really not knowing what to say necessarily, and keeping conversation going and engaged. And of course, it's always helpful to me, at least I find, that when you can drive over a rock like this. Are we going to get our tractor stuck because we were just not paying attention to things? I think we might just, there we go. I think that when you have a nice crowd in your live stream, and when you just don't pay attention to where you're driving because you can't see, because you should probably be inside the cab when you're driving through a building. But anyway, when you have a live stream and it's active, you've got some folks out there like Chris and DC and yourself and some of those others that like to come out and hang out with us. It does kind of help things because you've got sort of the chat that's making conversation for you and helping to kind of steer and drive the conversation a little bit, and it's not up to you to kind of, carry the conversation, because sometimes I just don't talk much, because especially like last night, I was finding that for me to keep the truck and trailer and everything on the road hauling the logs, it really did take a lot of concentration to do that. And I do have multiple screens. I basically have Farm Sim on one monitor, and I have my chat and sort of my YouTube screen up on the other, just so I can see if my connection drops. And so kind of keeping an eye on those things, it's sort of a challenge at times, but anyway, you'll get used to it. Let's see, Caddy 38. Hey Grizzly, my name is John. Just wanted to let you know I watch your channel all the time. Just hard to catch live streams. But I try to watch the archives, and I live about 120 miles from you in Yoder. I do not know where Yoder is. I'm sorry to say. So 120 miles from me, that must be Yoder, Colorado. I did not even know that there was a town called that. Is that out on the eastern portion of Colorado, or is that west? Is that western? And kind of what is your closest proximity town that I might recognize? Hello, Farmer Klein is in the house. Welcome, Farmer Klein. Thanks for stopping by. Always good to have Farmer Klein stop by. Thanks, Farmer Klein, for saying that, by the way. And it's a mutual feeling. I enjoy your channel a lot as well. And we've got that filled up. One more, and we'll call this little project done. Done and dusted, as they might say in the UK area. That's what my wife says all the time, that something is done and dusted. Alrighty. The Ultima fix must require Seasons 1.1. Yeah, I was kind of afraid of that. I was going to look, even though I'm not really planning on putting the Ultima on this map, I think it would probably be the last thing that I would want to do, because that would definitely be slow. But that will be interesting to see. Okay. Good. Well, that's good to know. I'll basically, it was OGF's Old Guy Farmer's wishes that the contestants or the participants in the challenge would basically stay away from the updated version of the Seasons mod until we finish. That way, it keeps everything sort of on a level playing field and whatnot. So. All right, well, I see that the snow has once again decided to grace us with its presence, and you gotta love that. I know Farmer Klein is doing his happy dance. I don't know. Could maybe only wish that I could actually see Farmer Klein's do his happy dance, but I'm sure he is doing a happy dance. Let me just very quickly here pull up the escape menu and go over here and take a look at our animals. Hay grass 38.89. I tell you what, what's our, well, we're just gonna stay there. We're gonna have to basically make a run to the store and buy some hay, but unfortunately we need to wait until it stops snowing, so we need to catch a as I slip around here, we need to catch a period of time where we can basically make it to the store and back without it snowing or raining, because that's what we've got in the forecast for tomorrow, is a little bit of rain. So we've got to do that because obviously we opted to buy our hay instead of do it the farming way, just because of the sake of time and all that kind of stuff, and money and what have you. Slip sliding away. Who sang that song? I'm not going to sing it because I can't hold a tune, but it does remind me of that song. So anyway, I did also notice the Realism, I think that's how you pronounce that, modding team, the guys behind the Seasons mod, did create a mod that prevents you from basically prevents you from tabbing into vehicles. So that will be, oh, that's interesting why that log is there. Can we move that log out of the way? Come on, Bulldog. That is interesting. Let's see how we combat this problem. Maybe we can hook up to the trailer from the side, and then God only knows what that log's going to do when the trailer connects. Okay, so that's what it does. So let's see, can we maybe do that? And then do that, and then turn that off. And we will make a run down to the sawmill, and then I think we will probably cut some more wood and haul again at night. I guess I did pretty good. There you go, Simon and Garfunkel. Did pretty good on sales yesterday, and even the day before. We passed our 100,000 mark goal. That is not going to be a reasonable goal to try to do each of the remaining 6 days of winter, because in order to kind of hit $100,000, in timber cells, we've got to really drive pretty fast down this road. We have to haul about 5 loads, 5 full loads to get to around the $100,000 mark. And I just don't think that that's reasonable for us to do that. Country Girl 45 says, "Is this a special mod to snow?" No, this is the Seasons mod, which um, comes fully equipped with snow, and even the updated version, there's even more snow, I guess, according to Old Guy Farmer. He had, I think I saw a picture that he posted on the Discord channel, and his tractor was covered in snow. So but yeah, it is part of basically the sort of built-in features of the Seasons mod. And so with the weather forecast that we have facing us now, I don't know, Farmer Klein, did you? And I know you didn't have as many days of snow, but did you have snow on the ground the entire winter season? So I'm guessing that for us, we most likely will have snow on the ground the entire winter season, because tomorrow is going to be rain. I don't know how that works with a low of 22 and a high of 33. And then Monday we've got more snow, and then Tuesday is the only day of winter that we don't have any precipitation at all. And so, but I'm not expecting the snow to basically go away on us. I think it'll still be there. Yeah, I got the short straw with regards to weather, really all the way around. And according to Mark DuPont, Mark was saying that he had very similar weather as mine. So I know that you and Old Guy Farmer kind of had easier weather. So I'm hoping that maybe for year 2 and year 3 that I will see a little bit more calm weather, less rain in the fall, and maybe most definitely less snow in the wintertime. This is a tough turn here, because I've hit that lamp post over there a couple of times yesterday. And let's see if I can multitask here. Farmer Klein says, "I didn't have snow, but for part of one day I had snow the last day of winter and part of the first day of spring." Okay, well, so our spring, I mean, according to the 3 days of spring that we can see there, that's pretty satisfactory. I'll take that. 47 for a high and just cloudy, and then we've got partly cloudy on the second day of spring, and then full sun on the third day. So hopefully by then the snow will be gone, and we can really start thinking about getting back to traditional farming, putting some seeds in the ground, and plan out what we're going to do for our year 2 fall harvest and all that good stuff. No, DC asks if we had different locations for our season setup, and I didn't. I mean, I just had the default. I left it as the default setting, so I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything special with regards to that. I wonder if maybe we should haul wood in the daytime and maybe cut wood at night. Maybe that's a better strategy. In the warmer months, or in the warmer time frame, we were actually doing just the opposite of that as OJ drives past. But I think maybe we might be better off doing the wood hauling in the daytime, and cut when it's darker, maybe. I don't know. We'll just stick with this for now. See how it goes. Yeah, we could probably really use some snow chains about right now. Let me unstack this and try to get this on here a little bit better. Yeah, I would have even settled for some Texas weather actually. Yeah, I have no traction at all. Yeah, I still have no traction. But it's kind of hard. I mean, it's kind of hard to play a map that is sort of this setting and not have this kind of weather. I mean, again, I don't really know where Giants sort of um, chose to establish Goldcrest Valley sort of in their thinking and their minds or whatever. But you know, I sort of have always sort of said that it sort of reminds me of Colorado. Um, and of course, I don't think they do this type of farming up in the mountainous areas of Colorado, this close to the mountains and stuff. But you know, our imagination can carry us a long ways. All right, stop loading. All right, we'll go ahead and take this down. And let's see, Hanks a Butt is in the house. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by. He asks, what truck am I driving? And Farmer Klein answers him, it's the Mac B61. Hanks a Butt, if you want to go to grizzlybearsims.com, again, grizzlybearsims.com, and if you click on the right-hand side or up at the right top of the page, you'll see a sort of a link for add-ons and mod directory. If you click on that and then look at the bottom of that Google spreadsheet, you'll see FarmSim 17, a tab for FarmSim 17. Click that, and that will take you to my mod spreadsheet, my mod list, and you'll find the link to the Mac truck there. It's a beautiful mod, and I found out about it from Farmer Klein. I think he did a mod review of this, and I've been using it on Lone Star for a little while, and then decided it would be perfect for this map because it's cheap and cheerful and it's pretty, and actually it's got one of the best interiors, really old school looking stuff. I think the only thing that could possibly be improved on it is if it had functional mirrors. And Mark DuPont asks a valid question. Does no one hit the like button anymore? Thank you, Mark. If you guys could hit the like button, I would appreciate it. Also, if you'd also go ahead and take the time to hit the subscribe button if you are not subscribing to my channel already, I would really appreciate it. And I'll tell you why that's going to be important here in just a few minutes. I'll tell you about my giveaway that I have planned for early November time frame. And you'll certainly want to hear all about that. And let's see what else is going on here. Caddy38 says this should be a cakewalk driving around in the snow for a Colorado resident. You know, it would be if the ground physics and everything were the same as in real life. You know, as you know, I'm sure, and I don't know if you ever replied to my question about where that town was that you mentioned, because I don't recall that. I don't know where that is off the top of my head. But as you probably know, and anyone else that has the opportunity to drive through snow, you know, snowpack or packed snow is actually a lot like driving through sand in a sense that, you know, there is a little bit of traction that your tires have, especially if you have good tires. With some good tread on them and everything. Of course, ice is a completely different story, and that's usually when we start seeing our really bad commutes and everything is when so yeah, try to get a little bit of speed up, and it always bites me. So you just kind of I gotta remind myself, slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race. But anyway, when we have some of those fast-moving storms that come in, and we have a day, you know, the day before is like, you know, 70, and then the very next day is in the low 30s or high 20s, and we get the snow, and that snow melts immediately upon hitting the asphalt, and then that freezes over, and then we have snow on top of ice. That's a little bit different scenario. But driving in snow, you can still maintain a fairly decent speed, and again, if you have good tires and everything, it's not that big of a deal. 30 miles east of Colorado Springs. Okay, all right. I can sort of visualize where that is. I've really not been out in that part of the state. Obviously, most of my travels have been west, sort of west of Denver. And then, of course, I do travel south. I go down that direction. Well, we have an office in Colorado Springs, and then also driving down I-25 south when I go visit my parents in Texas. I take that route. Let's see. Mark says you got some serious snow going on there. Yeah, and I don't know, maybe Farmer Klein didn't do that snow dance for you that he did for me, and I'm so appreciative of Farmer Klein for doing that, because I just don't know how we would have made it without his help. Oops, just barely got past that. And I asked the question last night. I'm like, I wonder how quick the ding 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 sounds occur before the actual gates close down on you, and that's pretty darn quick. That's much quicker than real life. Usually when you come upon a railroad crossing and there's a train coming, the bells start sounding and give you plenty of time to sort of get past before the gates come slamming down. But I guess here in Goldcrest Valley, I guess we just don't have that luxury. Come on, there we go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and leave this guy parked here, because all of our stacks of wood, I believe, are picked up. Let me just kind of turn and look down that direction. Yes, I believe they are. So we're going to get out and we're going to start cutting some more trees down. Get in our trusty Ponzi here. This thing, we have more than earned our money for this, and I'll try to catch up with the chat here. How's the logging going? It's going. We've made some pretty good money. Everything that you see up there as far as the money is concerned has been pretty much produced from logging. We have not found our gold nuggets yet, but we have found our first 10, so we at least know where they are on the map, and I will most definitely get to those before the end of the third year. And Hank's about asking, you still get dev versions of seasons? I don't think so, and I don't know if you would, I don't know if you'd really want to. I suppose maybe. I mean, there might be interest in doing that, but I would think that maybe you would want to use the full-blown production version. Now, one thing that we have found is that, if you were with me on episode maybe, I don't know, maybe episode 18, where I was talking about extreme logging, and we were really putting the Ponzi through its paces. We were climbing hills, and we were cutting trees with the Ponzi, basically almost standing upright on rocks and stuff like that. That can't be done with the snow and the ice the way that it is. So we're going to certainly have to take that into consideration as we go into year 2 and year 3, because most likely that will mean that we will need to maybe save the flat areas like we're sort of logging in right now, save those for winter time so that we can still move about with the Ponzi just fine, and then maybe head into the hills or tackle other trees that are in some of these rock elevations and stuff like that, tackle those on days where we don't have this slippery ice stuff, because this is just really slowing us down. So Mark asks, what's my tree count this year? Well, let's answer that question. I think it was right there, wasn't it? Trees, 532. So I've passed, I had done 300 on Mountain Valley Farm, so I suppose my tree count for Farm Sim 17 is in the 800 range, which is far more trees than I ever thought about cutting down in 15. So yeah, 532 trees. Hello BP, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, I think I need to do something. I need to take advantage of this break in the weather for just a bit, and we need to do something just slightly different, because oops, and I did not mean to tab. We're going to back up our log trailer here, kind of park it right over here where we can get this thing out if we need to, and go ahead and disconnect, and we need to go get some hay, because if we don't do that today, and if it rains all day tomorrow, or whatever that icon means, sleet or rain, I can't imagine that we're actually going to get rain when the temperatures are forecast at 22 and 33. So perhaps the weather forecasters really are similar to Colorado weather forecasters, because anytime they say we're going to get a blizzard, we only get like maybe a ½ inch, and then if they say, oh, you're only going to get a couple of inches of snow, we usually get about 10 or 12. So and no, you've not tuned in to Spin Tires. This is still Farm Sim 17. All right, so we're going to drive down to the store, because obviously they will not deliver the hay this time of year. Actually, they don't deliver hay any time of the year, but they're not going to deliver hay to us. So we're going to go down there, and of course we're going to go ahead and buy a, well, we may end up having to buy a new Mack truck if we put this thing in the ditch, but we're going to buy a trailer as well. If we can get past the tracks here without the train coming. So far so good. I wonder if Old Guy Farmer snowmassed the main highway, and what kind of speeds we can get to on the main highway. Well, it doesn't look like much of any more than all right. Anyway, we're going to buy a trailer, and yeah, it is slick. We're going to buy a trailer, we're going to buy some hay, and we are going to buy my favorite set of bell forks, so that we can basically lift up 4 bales of hay at a time and get that stacked nice and neat, and get it stacked under cover quickly. Shaky says, welcome Shaky to the stream, by the way. You would think a guy from Colorado would know how to drive in the snow. That's the second time that somebody's posted that little comment, and you know, I'm going to put you in the corner, Shaky, if you continue to do that. Of course, that's just a joke. Yeah, you would think so, and I would think that if the ground physics and everything were a little bit more true to life in this game, then I don't think that it would be as big of an issue. Now, why is there no snow down here? But yet things are still slick. Which is sort of interesting, because I was sort of under the impression, and again, I've not really done much as far as winter is concerned with the seasons mod, but I had sort of thought that maybe if you took the time to actually plow the streets, that actually it would let's see what this is, $10 a day. We can afford that. So Do we really need a 10-meter one? I think we'll go with the smaller one. That I sort of thought that maybe if we plowed, then maybe things it wouldn't be so slick. But I'm sort of guessing that that doesn't really matter. So hay bales, we want square because that's easier to mess with. So we want 1, 2, and we'll go ahead and get 3 for now. And then we want to get our trusty, the one that we love so much and the one that I use on all of my maps, this little kerfab here, and we want to go ahead and get that. And design, we want the added extension spike is fine, and we're going to buy that. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to have that delivered. They will deliver that for us, and then we will bring the straw home. We're going to make them load it for us because that's just kind of how we roll. Caddy says I need a Chevy to drive around. Well, I don't really know if a Chevy would really make that much difference. And I'm glad I had that. I'm glad I had that hitch put on there because that has made all the difference in the world. Because this will really pay off doing it this way whenever we're not like driving around on ice. Whenever it comes time to do some of this stuff in the spring and summer. So let's see if I can remember what this is. Work position is U. So we'll do that, and that's a full load. And we'll go ahead and yeah, they're fastened. You just can't see them. All right, so we've got our hay, and as long as we can get back to the farm before it starts snowing again, we won't run the risk of losing any of this. Yep, give us a wide berth, folks. We will go ahead and turn on our beacon there just to be on the safe side. Let's see. Let me try to catch up with the chat. Sorry, guys. With this slippery road conditions and everything, I think you can understand. Let's see. Farmer Klein. Let's see. Bipolar Prophet says we have a bit of a challenge in the works ourselves. And Farmer Klein, I have found that some roads are higher than the snow. Really deep snow will eventually cover the roads. Shaky says, can you store enough bells to last the winter? Yeah, I think. I mean, I had just increased our sheep numbers just a few game days ago, and so they were consuming about a bell every other day or so. I'm assuming now that we've got 100 sheep, that's obviously going to go up a little bit higher. So this is certainly not to last the entire rest of the challenge by any means, but hopefully it will last for a little while to make it worth going and getting a full trailer load of hay. So anyway, let me, as I'm sort of needing to concentrate here on driving the truck and keeping this thing out of harm's way, keeping us out of harm's way, I'm going to tell you about the challenge, about my giveaway that I'm going to be doing. And that's why you're going to want to make sure you click that subscribe button, and also go ahead and click the like button as well while you're clicking buttons. But I'm going to be giving away 3 copies of the upcoming Farm Sim 17 Platinum Expansion Pack that'll be coming out in mid-November. These will be given out through Steam. And so please be a subscriber, and you can follow the information down below and get all the information that you need in order to be able to enter the contest. And all you need to do is listen to each episode, and the more you listen, the greater chances, or the more videos that you watch and everything, the greater chances you will actually have to win. And let me just do this here right quick. Let's go ahead and put this stuff right over here, a little bit out of the way, and then we're going to unload it right there, and then we'll go get the telehandler and get that sorted here. So anyway, all the information that you need to know is down below the video screen, and there will be 72 total episodes that will make up this challenge. And just for a point of reference, this is episode number 20. So we're kind of dragging up the rear, I suppose. I don't think we're the last, I don't think we're going to finish last, but we are definitely a little bit further behind than, say, Farmer Klein and also Old Guy Farmer, who I believe are well into their second years. So anyway, if you watch and listen and get that code word of the day for each of those episodes, and that will enhance your ability to win, and that'll be a good thing for you. And so I'm going to give you the code word for episode number 20 here in just a few minutes, and that way you will have that. I love these bell forks because basically I can pick up and I can carry 8 bales of hay or straw or whatever at one time, and it makes for a super easy moving of hay and straw and such as that. So we'll go ahead and get this stuff here under cover, and this will give us just a little bit of a break from our normal logging activities. And again, it's gonna, I'm sure it's making Farmer Klein happy because we're not making money. Farmer Klein seems to think that we have a fairly decent strategy. I don't know. I think I was sort of impressed with the strategy, with his strategy on the silage bells and stuff like that. And we'll see what others kind of come up with. I don't know if Rubber Burner Gaming is going to be doing anything with the challenge. I think he's only at like episode 2 or 3 or something like that. But his idea was all logging, so that's sort of not necessarily what caused me to take interest in the logging. I was obviously going to do logging anyway, just simply because there is some fairly good money to be made with it. And naturally, I had the intention of being able to increase the size of the fields and everything like that, which obviously we did do, and that worked out really well for us to be able to do that. So we'll actually have a little bit more of a yield on our crops that will come off the fields next fall than what we had this fall. But it was just darn good money with it. I mean, that's sort of that's really the truth about it all. And my, you know, one of my jobs as a young person, as a teenager, amongst many different kind of odd jobs that I had growing up, was working in grocery business. And so working in the grocery business, I always learned to rotate my stock. And so it's something that just kind of drives me a little bit crazy, and I will not, unless I just absolutely have to, I will not put new bells of anything in front of old bells of stuff, because my upbringing and my training and all of that kind of stuff with stock just says, well, that's old and that needs to go out first. And so I need to make sure that I feed that to the animals first. So that's what we'll do. Don't know how old that hay is. That was some hay that Old Guy Farmer gave us when we all started the maps. We had, I think, 8 bales of hay, I believe, for the sheep. And we'll go ahead and grab this bale of hay, and that way all of our hay is gone. So basically, I'm pretty impressed. I mean, at the strategy that we did with our animals, I think we purchased 25 sheep to start with, and then we upped that to 100. And those free 8 bales of hay basically lasted us until the second game day of winter time. So pretty impressive. All right, that's done. All right, are you doing the challenge too? Oh, BP or DC asked if BP's doing the challenge. He answers and says he's not. He's way too unfocused for this kind of thing. Yeah, I could kind of see where that could be. Not saying that that's how you are, BP. I'm not saying that that's why you wouldn't play it, but I'm almost too unfocused to play it. So all right, we'll set this right over here and get this undone, and then let's see, it's 18:13, so we still have a few more hours that we need to play. So we will just kind of pull this in here for right now and drop that off and turn the headlights off and get out here if we can get out, and we can't, so we'll walk around. Now I'm curious, Farmer Klein, if you're still in the house, or if anyone that is that has tried that new mod that the Seasons mod team released today, or at least I think it came out today, that prevents the tabbing into vehicles. Do you know how that works with the trains? Because if you have that other mod, if you have the Loco Drive, you kind of got to tab into your trains to slow those guys down, because otherwise they just sort of rip along the tracks and make it a little bit harder to handle things. So how does that work? Can you still tab into the trains to slow them down, or maybe did the Seasons mod team put a fix in there for the trains? I kind of doubt that they would do that, but it's still a valid question, I suppose. All right, folks. Well, our stream is about 51 minutes into the stream. This again is episode number 20, and this is 20 of 72. This challenge is to play this map for 3 game years, with our season set for 6 game days per season. So that means 72 episodes total. So we're not even halfway through yet, not even a third of the way through yet, but getting close. Every day we chip a little bit more away at the total and get a little bit better. So the word of the day today is going to be somewhat different, because usually my words of the day have sort of focused on things that either I've talked about, or a theme, what we've done with the challenge or whatever. But you might have noticed that I did start my live stream a wee bit early tonight. Usually I don't start streaming until about 7, sometime between 7 and 7:30, and basically we started up about 6. And the reason for that is because, well, the U.S. Men's, I almost said hockey team, but it's summertime. It's this snow. It's seeing the snow on the ground and me thinking it's actually winter and hockey season. But the U.S. men's soccer team is actually playing Jamaica, and the game starts in about 30 minutes, I believe. Oops, as we knock down that sign. The game starts in about 30 minutes because I'm not paying attention. And so that's why I'm starting the stream early, is to be done with that so that I can watch, hopefully, the U.S. men's soccer team beat Jamaica. That would be kind of cool. And while it's not as impressive as the World Cup, or even, what was it last year? What was the, I think it was the Americas, something or another. But anyway, it's not as impressive as that. It's fun. And I obviously want to support the U.S. team. So that's what I'm going to be doing in about 20 minutes or so. So the word of the day is actually the word soccer. I realize it has absolutely nothing to do with farm sim. It has nothing to do with the snow on the ground. It has nothing to do with the timber work that we're doing. But obviously the word of the day for this episode, for episode number 20, is soccer. So good luck to you all in entering the contest. The more you watch, the more you can win. But do please be a subscriber if you certainly can. That would help me out tremendously as we try to twist this log around. And the Mickey says hello, and he, I guess he's from Poland. All right, so welcome from Poland. I appreciate you stopping by and joining us tonight as we do a little bit of logging here in the challenge. And if you are new to the channel, if any of you are new to the channel, please hit the like button and also hit the subscribe button. Thank you all so very much. And no, the words of the day won't end up saying something cool if you put them together, although that would have been kind of, that would have been a cool thing to do. Gosh, Farmer Klein, why didn't you suggest that like on day one? Okay, this tree is being a little bit contrary, so we'll just spin him around over here and spit him out right there. It's I tell you what, I mean, everything about the winter time is just, it makes everything just so much more challenging, I should say. It's certainly different, and even more so in difficult to say, you know, as well. It's the lack of traction. It's the snow on the ground, the way that although the snow, I will say that the snow on the ground was kind of helpful yesterday, just simply because when we first started the stream yesterday, as I'm sort of caught on this log, it was really hard to see because we had these overcast conditions. Let's see if I can get up this embankment here after this tree here. And don't worry, we have permission from these homeowners here to take the trees down. But it was kind of really foggy, and the headlights on the Ponzi weren't really doing that good of a job. But actually, when the first layer of snow hit the ground, it sort of allowed the headlights of the Ponzi to sort of illuminate things a little bit easier. But of course, I would gladly go back to having no snow on the ground to be able to do things a little bit faster and all that kind of stuff. But hey, I'm hopeful that, you know, that Farmer Klein and Old Guy Farmer and some of the others will be able to enjoy the snow in their second winter, and maybe even during their third winter as well. That would be fantastic for me. So Farmer Klein, that is what I'm going to be hoping for, is that both your year 2 and year 3 winters are very snowy, and because, you know, you need that moisture on your grass. That's going to help your grass out, man. I mean, I'm thinking about you. All right. So we've got about another game hour to play. I'm just kind of keeping an eye on the clock. I may go a little bit longer. I'm not going to pull an all-nighter, but we have to basically play until 2100. And if you're also new to the stream and you might be wondering why we're playing in 15x speed, and thanks for stopping by, Farmer Klein. We'll catch you later. I'll chat with you maybe tomorrow. Is that is part of the challenge. That is part of that's part of the criteria of the challenge, is that we all play with 6 game days per season, and we all play at 15x speed. So that has been something that has been a little bit odd for me to get used to, playing at 15x speed, just playing such a fast pace, because as I have said on several other streams, I'm sort of the kind of guy that likes to make decisions, to think about things, to maybe, you know, sit here and scratch my head and calculate, okay, well, how far will this hay purchase get us? You know, how far is this bell spike the best thing to use, and how does the tractor, the horsepower of this tractor compare to maybe this other tractor? And you just can't do that. You can't spend that amount of time thinking about something, because next thing you know, an hour or maybe more of the game time has passed you by, and we've got so much to do. And obviously the goal of all this is at the end of the 3 years, the challenger that has the most money will obviously win the challenge and win a copy of that very DLC that I'm giving away 3 copies for. So in all reality, I suppose that if I were to win this challenge, most likely I'm going to actually end up giving away 4 copies of it. But anyway. All right, so we're just going to continue to cut trees down for just a little while longer. We probably won't carry anything to the shop or to the store to sell, just simply because that takes a little bit longer. And we'll just build up a pile of logs here in this area, and then work on getting them picked up as we slide back down the hill. We'll go after that later. The challenge is who will run out of trees first. And you know, to be quite honest with you, Shaky, I've really only worked in this little area. I cleared the trees around the main farm. I have sort of worked in this general area of Goldcrest Valley, but I've not been into the hills yet. I've not really been on the other side of town. So all of those trees still there. So there's still a lot of trees. I've cut down 500 and something, so I don't know how many total trees are on this map, but I don't think that I will be, I don't think I will run out of trees. The others, I don't know. I think the only person that's really decided to make trees their main source of income, and really their main source of doing anything on this challenge, has been Rubber Burner Gaming, who basically his strategy, at least what he was saying in the first few episodes that he did, and I don't think he's done another episode since like episode 2 or 3, was that he basically was going to do trees the entire challenge, and he was even concerned whether there would be enough trees on the map to do that. I would wager to guess that I have probably made over $1 million, maybe $1.5 million in trees, because while we did borrow a little bit of money to get the Ponzi going, we basically paid that loan back pretty quick. We've bought about 60 head of sheep. We've bought all of the equipment that we have. We've bought an extra field as well, and we have almost 700,000 in the bank, and we have yet to pick up the gold nugget. So if we can continue to do that for each of our remaining 2 years, then I think that our chances are going to be pretty good, I hope. Let's see, Jamie Burt says, Grizzly, if you make sure you are last to finish, then you will know how much dollars you need to win. Yeah, and that obviously has been sort of discussed. I think Farmer Klein had posted something earlier today about maybe, you know, strategy might be to sort of save the last 2 or 3 episodes to you know, right before the end of October. But I think, you know, I'm obviously going to have a few days, and I've sort of talked about this in other episodes, that I've got some travel that's coming up. So there's going to be a little bit of time where I'm not going to be able to stream and play for a little while, for a few days. A few days 1 week and a few days another week. And sometimes these trees just don't want to cut. You can come around from a different angle and usually get pretty lucky with them, but you know, and I'm almost, you know, I'm not gonna give up on traditional farming, because obviously I think if I just continue to cut trees every single game day for the next 52 episodes, I think people are just going to get tired of watching. But you know, I've sort of almost thought that, well, if I don't waste my time doing traditional farming, in other words, if I don't waste my time in the spring planting and doing all that kind of stuff, that I could probably do have a much better opportunity of winning the challenge. But I think I want to do those things just to kind of keep things a little bit different. But I think obviously if you went into this with the mindset that you could potentially win by doing nothing but farming, like planting wheat and barley and canola and corn and that kind of stuff, I think that I don't think you could win. I think you've got to do these other things like logging, because otherwise you wouldn't have anything to do this time of the year. And I am going to buy more fields. I forgot about it, DC. I really meant to actually buy a couple of fields. I haven't been doing the missions as much as I probably should have been doing. We could do one mission a day. And the good thing about the missions is it actually slows the speed down. It basically goes to 1x while you're doing the mission. But I've only done like 2 or 3 missions, I think, so far. But I really meant to buy another field right before it was due to be harvested. That way I could sort of reap the benefits of pulling the harvest off of it. But I forgot. Actually, I forgot. I turned my harvester in. I was leasing the harvester. I turned it in and went right back to logging, and so I kind of missed the boat on that plan. Okay, well, it's let's see, it's 10:15. I need to stop here in about 10 minutes because the game is going to start at 7:30 my time. And so I've told you what the word of the day is already. So make sure you are a subscriber and go ahead and please click that like button and all that kind of stuff. We're going to leave our Ponzi right here, and we're going to get out and we're going to head back to the main farm. I'm trying to limit my tabbing between vehicles as much as possible just for sake of realism. I have been tabbing between vehicles from time to time, and I will probably do it. I'll probably make the mistake of doing it once or twice. I mean, the challenge is not necessarily, ultra realism is not a requirement. Obviously, we're using like auto-loading trailers and stuff like that, because you could probably imagine how long it would take to load up 500 and something trees that we've cut down. I would probably still be loading the first day's cut if that were the case. But you know, taking advantage of some of that stuff. But I have been trying to do things a little bit more realistic. Obviously my driving, that is just one heck of a slick spot right there. And it's always the same spot. That exact spot coming down off that hill gets me every single time. You would think that I would learn, I would figure that out by now. But we need to do a few things before we close out the stream. In other words, we need to clean up after our sheep just a bit. And we'll just park that under there and jump out and then go over and get in our telehandler. Beautiful nighttime sky. I know how cold these type of nighttime skies are. Need to salt it, yeah. Well, we don't use salt around here, thankfully, because otherwise our cars and everything would rot. They use a chemical called mag chloride. Of course, I'm sure it has. I'm sure it's doing a wonder on the fish and stuff in the streams and the lakes and stuff like that. But that's what they use around here is that product. I guess it works out all right. Kind of depends on when they apply it. Oh, we didn't get anything with that pass. Oh, that's because we've got snow in our bucket. I'm gonna eventually learn to look at that icon, and if it's got a snow icon, I'll know not to try to pick up grass, because I mean, even though in the real world you could basically pick up, you could put snow, you could put You could put anything else in the same bucket in the real world, but in the farming sim world, they basically limit that, and that's okay. We're going to leave the bucket on the telehandler because the first thing tomorrow morning we will need to clean up after the sheep once again. And we're going to just barely get done. We've got to, if we're not going to do an all-nighter, we've got to basically get done before midnight. And so we're just going to barely get that done. All right, well, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'm just going to step out here and we're going to do our eggs really quick, and then we'll do a save, and then we will skip night, and then that will position us for basically sunrise tomorrow. And we probably need to sell some eggs because I'm sure that our backpack has quite a few eggs in it. And so I'm just going to click save. I'm going to do a quick save here just in case something happens with the skip night feature. Then we're going to do Alt N to skip night, and then this will drop us off at about, there you go, 6 o'clock in the morning. And this will be the next game day. This will be game day 3 of winter. So I'm going to go ahead and click save again really quick and then quit the game. And I appreciate you guys watching. I do. I really do. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with me. That helps pass the time a little bit better. Plus, you guys are cheering me on. And I promise that once we get sort of done with this winter, I will try to pay a little bit more attention to the chat. My apologies, because it's hard enough for me to drive on icy roads if I've got both eyes on the screen, let alone one eye on chat and one eye on the screen. And so I appreciate you watching, and make sure that you enter the contest. All the information is down below. If you missed the word of the day, rewind the tape about 15 or 20 minutes or so, and you can catch that word of the day, and then go back and watch the other 19 episodes if you have time to get the word of the days from those episodes, and then continue watching as we continue to get closer and closer to episode number 72, of course, the end of the challenge. So thank you all again so much. Have a wonderful, let's see, what is tomorrow? Thursday, and go USA. So talk to you soon. God bless you all. Take care of each other, and I'll see you and talk to you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.